So, should you touch a shaman? The answer is yes and no. So, it depends, right? And so, if you're a random guest at a Hmong Shaman ceremony or a oning, like the shaman is going into the spirit world, and you're just there to kind of like spectate, you shouldn't touch the shaman. The person who should touch the shaman is their assistant and their teacher if they're still training to be a master level shaman. Other than that, a guest should never ever touch a shaman when they are in trance, when they are in movement. And before I dive in further, I wanted to just quickly take a minute to introduce ourselves to you in case you're new here. I'm Elizabeth. I am a Hmong shaman. I'm level 1 currently in my journey, and this is my shaman assistant.
And I'm Scott, and I am the shaman assistant.
Yes, and we're both are also walking parallel lines and becoming a therapist as well. And so let's go straight back to the topic. So why is this important? Should you or should you not touch a shaman? And it's really important to know that because a lot of things can happen should a person touch a shaman. When the shaman assistant is touching the shaman, it's to help adjust them so that they're facing their shrine, so that they're not like looking this way,
which happens a lot,
or this way, or this
which also
way.
happens a lot.
It does happen. It does.
You also have to know when they're not doing something that involves them spinning around, because you don't want to adjust them if they're cleansing the house and trying to clear all the angles, because I never did that, so I have no stories for that one. But boy, do I have stories for everything else I messed up with.
Okay. Can't wait to hear that later.
Yes.
And then another thing is that movements that are very sudden or that the shaman themselves aren't aware of, that can interrupt the spiritual journey. That can I'm just thinking of the story, I'm sure later. It can really impact the journey and their spirit guides and the shaman themselves, and you'll see why later.
And it's not just adjusting as well. There's times where the strings on your bells get wrapped around your hands, and you have to be able to stop and maneuver it to where it's not wrapping around their hands. So, but that's all kind of dependent on your shaman. I believe every shaman has different feelings around the strings.
But just like the only really time the shaman assistant will touch a shaman is to help adjust whether it's the tunings that goes on their fingers or their positioning so that they're facing their shrine. And then another time is if you're a shaman is the jumping style. I know some people like to hold the like their waist, like either directly their waist, or if they have a sash on, they'll hold that, or like a belt or a loop or something. And that's the only time really that they should touch a shaman. Yeah. So a story I wanted to share with you about what happens if you touch a shaman. I'm just going to speak about the shaman assistant touching their shaman without letting them know. By letting them know, it could be like a gentle tap, or it can be like a quick word to the shaman, letting them know, I'm approaching you. Don't be startled. It's just me. Or something.
I was going to say, there was trial and error there, because there was a lot of times where I didn't know that I needed to say anything, and I would just walk up and start doing things. And
don't do that. Don't do that. So what happened was, it was way in the back, like way when I first started, and I think I was maybe 2 months in, if that. And I started to go into my trance, and I went to my journey, and my spirit guides, they were taking me to explore, right? And we were going over this rocky terrain. And I guess I was like, remember how the positioning we were talking about earlier? I guess I was facing this way, and Scott wanted to face me back.
Yeah, because you weren't just facing that way. You were walking. I had to bring
facing
you
me back to the, straight to me to look at my shrine. And so he turns me, okay? He literally physically grabs me and pulls me this way. And literally, my spirit guide and me, we all scream, like, we let out loud, like, type of like scream. Even I was like, it was kind of comical about how I screamed because it wasn't just me, it was also like my spirit guide. They were so spooked when Scott did that. Like, I literally saw all of them fly off in like all sorts of directions. And I can only imagine the look on Scott's face when that happened and, just me screaming. But then I was just so flabbergasted at what happened because the journey just stopped. Like, there's no, oh, let me just get back. No, they were gone. Like, the vision, everything was just gone. I didn't feel them anymore. Like, the shape, everything just stopped.
Everything was gone.
Yeah, everything was just so be really mindful about how a person approaches the shaman when they're assisting them. Again, a tap or just a few words like, hey, it's Scott or it's Elizabeth. I'm just going to adjust you, okay? Soft, soothing voice. Don't be like a loud, booming voice, because Scott did that before too, and it scared me. And he got yelled at for that. They didn't get scared to where they all ran off. But yeah.
Yeah, and there was also a time where I had to fix your Janine.
Yeah.
And the first time I did that, I didn't know she was moving. And I was like, how am I supposed to fix it? So I just grabbed her arm and held it still and then grabbed it and turned it. And then it was funny because you didn't say anything directly then, but I felt it. I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that.
They were going to, but I was like, it's okay. He's just helping. He didn't know. If he does that again, I will let him know. But I'm glad you felt it.
Yeah, I felt that one. And I was like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do that. Yeah. So now I just lightly tell you I'm approaching. Yeah. And then I just grab the strings. That way you kind of know what I'm doing. And then you stop moving your hand. So that's helpful.
Yes. And then wanted to kind of let you know that something that we kind of practice to communicate with each other when I'm mid-trance is that Scott will tap me either to my right, meaning for me to adjust over to the right, or he'll tap me on the left to adjust over to the left. And then if it's like moving back, he'll tap both sides of my hips. And then I'll kind of scoot back. But it's funny because you were sharing that when we do that and I'm in trance, it doesn't really matter because I only scoot like a millisecond.
Yeah,
like a millimeter.
I'm like expecting her to go over fast. She's like taking little tiny steps. And I'm like, I'm just going to be sitting there all day. So we came up with this suggestion to where I put a solid hand here and I tap until she feels it. So she moves over a little faster now.
Yeah. And that's been working out really nicely.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah. And then there was another thing. Oh, geez.
Yeah, there sure was. You want to know what it was?
What?
So, some of Liz's pants.
Okay, hold on. I want to ask you guys, if you are a shaman, or if you witnessed a shaman, or can imagine this, even if you're not a shaman or you don't know anyone who's a shaman, if you can imagine this, just imagine somebody going in trance and they're shaking and they're whatever doing their thing. What would you do if you saw that they had a wedgie?
Yeah, because I noticed that a certain pair of pants that she wears, she gets wedgies. And it's very noticeable, and I'm just like, huh. And then I asked her one time, I was like, hey, if we're at someone else's house, you're doing a ceremony or you're doing something, like, do you want me to fix your wedgie or do you not? Are you cool like having a wedgie for like an hour? And she was like, what was your response?
I honestly...
That's exactly it. She was like, I don't know.
I don't know.
And I was like, well, if I do it, are your guides going to get upset? And you were like, I don't know. We'll have to try it.
And what happened?
And then, yeah, there was one time where it was funny because we had that conversation like 1 week, and then like 3 weeks goes by, and then the infamous wedgie comes back, and I'm just like, oh. And I'm like, well, we're gonna go for it. So I didn't tell her I was approaching her or anything.
Oh my
I
god.
just
I'm dying of
grabbed the
embarrassment.
back.
Okay.
I just grabbed the back of her pants and I just popped it out.
No,
And
you did that.
yeah, I popped it out because I didn't want to grab. I tried doing it slightly, but I realized I was just pushing it in. So then I just and then she lost it. It was hella funny because she just starts giggling. And then I'll let you tell that part of what you were going through on the spirit side.
We've heard traveling in the spirit realm. And when Scott did that, I immediately think back to our conversation that we just had about like, do you want me to do or not? And you did it. And it was just the funniest feeling because my body was just so like whatever. But then my human self, my the not immaturity, but then like the embarrassment and the human part where I was just giggling because Scott fixed my wedgie like mid ceremony, and my guides they were like telling me to stop laughing. They were like really serious. They're like, stop laughing, you're ruining your chance.
You were because you just laughed. It was funny. Yeah, because you were still doing everything else. You just couldn't stop laughing. And you got lectured.
It was
by your guides.
hilarious.
But her guides didn't lecture me, so I don't know if
they
that's
didn't care.
Good or bad.
They didn't care. They were more annoyed that I kept laughing and interrupting the drink.
Well, there you go. So I know that my shaman is okay with the wedgies. I don't know about your guys' shaman. They might not be okay with fixing.
I'm so curious what you guys would do. Please share in the comments down below. What would you do if you saw someone had a wedgie?
Yeah. Like, or if you're a shaman and you had a wedgie, would you want someone to fix it, or would you just go along and not care? I mean, that's an option too. It just never popped up until I saw it, and I was like, huh.
I've had wedgies. The weirdest topic ever. Anyways, I've had wedgies before, but I never like it didn't bother me until Scott brought it up, and I was like, dang, if I feel it, they can see it.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't bother me, but
it doesn't bother me. I was just looking out for you because I'm just like, I can't just stand here the whole time. I mean, I guess I could.
I think what that's telling me is to not wear those. I love those pants, by the way, the one that causes the wedgie. They're so beautiful. It's very comfortable too and flowy. But anyways, don't wear those if I have to go owning at a client's house and trying to show my cheeks off to elderly people behind me or children. So I will put those at home and not bring it.
Yeah.
And before we let you guys go for your day, I want to share a really, really big news with you guys. Okay, no, I'm not pregnant, and we're not sick.
No, thankfully, thank God.
Thank God for which part?
That we're not sick.
Yeah. Okay, well, I shared a bunch, and so I wasn't sure which part it was, but wanted to share that we are going to Minnesota sooner rather than later.
We are.
Yes.
Yeah, because we were supposed to be moving out there in 2028.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're moving out there July of next year.
Yeah.
Because that's when we graduate.
Yep. And this is big news because we're going to be traveling we're currently in California, in case you didn't know. And we're going to go all the way to Minnesota, and we cannot wait. And in case you're wondering why Minnesota, it's because we really want the 4 seasons.
We both were born and raised in California.
Yeah.
And we both have a job that's allowing us to not have to traverse the winters that everyone talks about.
Oh yeah, like driving on the icy roads.
Yeah. So yeah, we just honestly, I'm tired of looking at 9 months of blue skies and no variance and no rain and no anything. It's just hot and sunny or cold and sunny. And I always hear people talk about the haze when they live in like Seattle because they get depressed because there's too much rain, and I'm just like, I would kill for 6 months of rain. I think that'd be kind of cool. So now I'm gonna get 6 months of snow.
You think it's gonna be 6 months of snow?
Probably not,
I don't
but
know.
we're in California, so I'm gonna
We'll
assume
find out.
we'll find out. It's gonna be
So
cold though.
that'll be fun and interesting. So thanks for sticking around, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.